So, Charles, the final question is for you. How do you build relationships in global health? So, for instance, with the companies that you deal with NGOs, with individuals, how do you build relationships?
Uh, Thanks, James. That's another tricky question. You're picking on me. The What we do, we have a constituency that is very broad. So if we're trying to get a license to produce generic versions of, let's say, a diabetes medicine, let's say it's long-acting insulin, um, we need the community to advocate with the company for us. So it's really, really important that we have good relations with the community. Leaving aside that I have type 1 diabetes and I'm not alone in my organization as being someone living with uh, diabetes. Uh, it's about interacting on a regular basis. We actually have a community advisory panel where we have people to help us put these, I guess, networks together of people who can support what we're trying to do. Um, then, of course, it's really important that we build relationships with the pharmaceutical industry, or they won't give us the licenses. And in both cases, it's very much about trust and respect. And those are kind of the critical values that we need when we are talking to either, because very often you have very different views from pharma and from advocates, um, and balancing them to come away with a win-win solution that actually benefits everyone is the tricky thing that we're always trying to do. Because on top of that, we then got to think about, is this going to be a sustainable market for our generic manufacturers? And most importantly, is this going to help public health and the people who actually need the diabetes drugs or whatever it might happen to be? Um, and everybody has a slightly different view on that. So, in order to balance that, a lot of it is about a lot of interaction on a regular basis. Because if you don't have that, you don't have the trust, and then you don't have the understanding. And as I'm sure you're all aware nowadays, you can write something in an email that to you is totally neutral and yet provokes an extraordinary reaction from the person receiving it just because to them the tone is wrong. So it is so easy to actually make things really quite problematic for oneself if you don't have those kind of strong relationships. And this is one of the issues during COVID. You couldn't actually go and see people, and I don't think you can really do it over Zoom. It's lovely talking to you all on this call, but it would be so much better if we were all in a room. Thanks.
Thank you, Charles. And the weather is lovely at Marrakesh, and we have a second bedroom. So, if anyone wants to come on over, no, but in all seriousness, very good points. And I think, as you say, like not just in the business side of medicine patent pool, but also just in life. I think trust and respect are the cornerstones of any good relationship, and that's why I have such good respect for everyone who's decided to volunteer their time for really just an idea here.